We'd like to welcome you back to another informative and insightful episode of AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. And my name is Ajiman Ochadako. And you bear me, a long time ago, we actually commemorated the African Union Day, 25th of May. And the African Union mentioned emphatically that with over 2.3 billion young people in Africa in estimation, it will be appropriate for the African continent and its leaders to deliberately invest into the future of these young people so that we benefit from the youth in terms of their dividend and their resource, human capital growth for the continent. And that stems down to what we are doing, particularly how are we invested to make a good future for the youth and also help the continent grow. And the idea that comes to mind is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine as a very viable ground for young people to explore in and grow. Today, I have with me in the studio a great delegation from the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. You're welcome back on AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Ajiman Ochadako, and as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at how we can give youth the participation in higher education programs, particularly to STEM, and also give credit to why the need is to have STEM education more prolific here in the African continent for a good purpose. So with me in the studio are my great delegation from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and the first person is here is Goodness John Ogunwale. From the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. I also have a Dr. Ganiyat K. Oloyede, and also I have here Oloyede Mukhzar. You're welcome to AAU Talks.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad to host you because you're on a very, very unique quest to ensure that African higher education institutions understand the role of STEM in transforming the African agenda to the level that we want, the Africa that we want. And that's a very, very hefty task that you have right now to go around and then try and lobby out and share the understanding why the youth should be engaged in STEM, and particularly women and girls in STEM education. So let's start with this great privilege and opportunity to work with the ACS. Let's know what the ACS does and how come this partnership came about with the ACS.
Thank you very much. I'm Ganiyat K once again. I'm an associate professor of organic chemistry from University of Ibadan, Nigeria.
Okay.
University of Ibadan is the premier university in Nigeria, so I'm privileged to be an alumni of that institution.
That's fantastic.
As well as a lecturer in that institution. Yeah, I'm here with my students who are members of the American Chemical Society. American Chemical Society, USA, are the body saddled with the affairs of chemistry profession, students studying chemistry, workers, practitioners of chemistry in all sectors of life. Now we are here in Ghana on a global science outreach. We've observed generally that there is a decline in youth participation in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, which is STEM. We call it STEM.
Sure.
Now, we are saying Africa. You agree with that recently there's a general increase in the way our students, run to European countries and America and many advanced countries. Is this how we'll be looking in Africa? We want to grow and develop just like the advanced countries. And we cannot do this without the participation of the youth, which is why American Chemical Society has supported us, by sponsoring this project. And the theme is youth participation in higher education, especially the female gender in STEM courses. This is why we need youth engagement.
Great. So let's now come down to the predicaments that we face in the African continent in regards to advanced STEM education. with the premise that you just gave, that it is very beneficial. It has prospects to transform the African continent. Yet we're still having challenges trying to have it permeate successfully through all the lines in the African continent. And what exactly are the factors hindering the advancement of STEM education in the African continent? Let's start with you, Goodness, on this one.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to say, first of all, that we have a challenge of youth participation in STEM courses in Africa. We have to admit that. That's number one. And I believe that that starts from our government. Because I am aware that in Nigeria, I think 2 or 3 years ago, only 2% of the total budget was dedicated into the education sector. Meanwhile, in some other countries, especially in the developed countries, they put up to 20% or even 30% of their budget into the educational sector. So an educational sector, of course, is where we find the STEM and all of that.
Yeah.
So it comes down from the government. Also, there are other factors like the societal values, where a lot of women are encouraged. You know, they start getting pressured from maybe age 20 or 18 to get married. So there's the belief that, oh, women have to end up in the kitchen. You know, they can't get involved in tough jobs. They can't get involved in STEM and all of that. You would see an engineering class where 80% or 90% of the population in class is male, and you see only 1 female or 2 female students.
Yeah.
So we also have the problem of religious belief, where some that we would call extremists, because I believe their counterparts in some other parts of the countries or even in other developed countries, they get involved and they are very well educated. But some of these people, they are extremists and they want to believe that, oh, they are against education, they are against female education, or they are against education at large. So these are some of the challenges, and as we go on, we would mention some others. Thank you very much.
So the youth participation in higher education is laudable. Women participation in STEM because of how they today find themselves in. But let's hear from you, Mukhzar, on women particularly and STEM education. What exactly is the call for the emphasis on women and their participation in STEM? Do you find women too far from, too highly vulnerable? What exactly encompasses and make the meaning for women to be encouraged more in STEM?
Well, you know, there's a saying that says, what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Absolutely.
In the contemporary society now, where we have both males and females, women should be given the opportunity to have access to this education, STEM particularly. You know, if in a society where, or a classroom where there are just males, and females are not given the access or the opportunities, you know, it's a form of demerit. It discourages ladies or the women from participating in it. But if there are opportunities placed, grants, things that are put in place or a woman-enabled classroom, a woman-enabled learning environment where they can learn, you know, and also, you know, societal values where it has limited the reach to which women can go to. You get me? So if the society is accepting of, okay, fine, women can do this too, they should engage them. They should what a man can do better. Women can go to technology. We have women engineers, but we need more. We need more of them. We need more of women doctors. You know, there was an incident where, okay, fine, some set of individuals felt like, okay, they don't want their wives to be operated under male doctors. I mean, if you have more women, of course that should not be an issue. But then some people are, okay, fine, they don't want their daughters to be doctors. But if your daughters are not doctors, then how then would you not want them to be operated by men, or would you? So if you have women doctors, you have women engineers, of course it's encouraged society. We have more inclusion. It encourages people more to, okay, and it's also develops because they will come with their own insights, their own views. So it's a good thing basically.
Great. You know, the recent studies that have propounded that we need to be mapping personality and gender of people to some career choices, and they made some very, I would say, stringent references that, well, in some cases we have men, look at the way they are assertive, look at the way that they are very curious and daring. They have the guts to enter into the sciences because they have what it takes to survive in there. And then women, because of their reserved nature and natural ability, they should be perhaps be at the point where conserved point, not really exploring further in technology. What is your view on these two very opposing arguments when it comes to STEM education, or let's say STEM career and gender?
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Well, I want to disagree with those people in that line of thought who believe that women are to be limited, or they are not to participate in some kind of courses, especially the STEM courses. For instance, I'm a graduate of chemistry, and I am aware that there's a woman called Marie Curie, and the husband is Pierre Curie. I think they are from France. They are France nationals, and they actually won the Nobel Prize in radioactive chemistry some years ago. In fact, their daughter also won the Nobel Prize in chemistry and physics many years after. So that tells you that women from onset have always been participating in STEM when given the chance. Women have the brain. In fact, you'll be surprised that a lot of women do better when in the sciences than many men. Like the instance of when USA for the first time was trying to get into space, and they were having some challenges in NASA. These ladies, African Americans, 3 of them, they were actually at the backstage, but they had to bring them in to the front stage. And it was using their abilities, using their ideas, that they were able to crack the codes that actually help American scientists and the astronauts to get into space many years ago. So, and there are several other women doing beautifully well, like the current Director General of WTO, that's World Trade Organization, Dr. Nkojo Iweala.
Yeah.
So she's a woman, and she's doing very well in that post, because I believe it takes competence to get to that stage. So my submission is, when women are given the opportunity and there is the enabling environment, you know, they will do well. They will do well.
Doctor,
Please,
yes.
let me add to that.
Absolutely.
Is what really happened to me. As a graduate student of chemistry, I was looking for a job. I submitted an application at a battery manufacturing company. Batteries for motor cars.
Absolutely.
You know, we did, normally you do exams. I passed the first stage.
Okay.
Among with some men.
Okay.
Second stage, they did the interview, I passed. Third stage, I did the interview, I passed. The last stage, they said they didn't want a woman for that position because it's a production, you know.
It's energy intensive, right?
Production unit. There's somebody to head the production unit. I said,
Okay.
but if you had allowed me to, you know, go on and on, you know, to do the exam I've been passing. Why is it now that in the last stage, now feel that you don't need a woman for that position?
That's sad.
I was sad and I left. You know, that's why I tagged that societal, you know, value on the inclusion of women in many sectors, you know, is very bad. If not for, you know, for my resilience, with that experience, I will not even encourage, you know, my daughter to go for, you know, STEM courses. Who is now telling me that I cannot perform in that role? What do they mean that they don't need a woman for that position? You know, these are some of the things that we are talking about. Even the society, you know, discourages, you know, women participation. And that's one of the advocacy, you know, that we are on. That even at a younger age, encourage your daughter, give your daughter an open mind to go for any course that she desires. It may be science, it may be, technology, engineering, and many STEM courses. So these are some of the things. Not talk of the religion, aspect of it. Not talk of the, government input in it.
Yeah.
So these are, injury factors that we are talking about. And I know that a lot of women may have had this kind of experience that I had.
Let me hear from Mukhzar with regards to the influence of social media now. Social media has come to actually leverage everyone. The average person in the informal sector today at least has a way through WhatsApp and can do some TikToks and all that as a way to have fun. It has also given that kind of, let's say, an upper head for people to also understand how STEM works and all that. Do you find social media as the end product, or let's say the end result of STEM education in its own entirety, or there's a need for us to realign our orientation towards social media for the purposes of transforming the continent and not really taking us off track?
Well, thank you. I feel I'll go for the later part where social media is still a tool in itself for advancement. Yeah, I saw this article in news of this girl, a lady. She's in medicine. But due to the decision of the country at the moment, is strike action. This girl is fluent with other languages. Yeah. Now let me tell you how social media has affected or has helped her. Now, of course, she's a medical student and school's on strike. Of course, she'll be affected, and without the certificate, you can't practice anything.
Yeah.
You can't operate on someone. But then this particular person is very, very, very fluent with other languages. It's very good. Social media now comes in. Okay, fine. She went online, told people, okay, fine, I'm good with this, and she spoke in different languages, and people were like, oh, wow, this is very, very impressive, and it amplified her skills to people. Okay, fine, this is what the benefit of this particular tool. Also social media. Okay, fine. You said something about TikTok earlier, where people just we can use this tool positively in a more advancing way, instead of just wasting our time, and in fact it's a major distraction in itself. So STEM, as a result, if people use these tools to learn, there are courses online now. People can learn, have a community where you can share your skills, discuss, have insight on how to do this. Social media, it's beneficial in this case, because you have from different angles with experience where they put you through how things work, and instead of you going through a very long route, you go through a short route, and it's very, very effective.
Goodness, would you say that Africa has lost a lot in terms of STEM education, its investment, and for now, and trying to catch up with the Western world with the advancement? Is it really like a goose chase, or we are really we have a safe way path to make it up, the gap?
I would say that Africa is on its way. We have to put in more work. A lot of people are doing a lot of things. I know there are a lot of startups from Africa, like the Andela, like Flutterwave, who are doing a lot of work, and they are trying to put Africa in the forefront of technological advancement and all of that. But we are on the way. So we are still in the right course. I believe a lot of people just need the funding. They need the platform to showcase what they have. A lot of developments that happen in these developed countries, if you find out, you discover that it is Africans that are the brains behind a lot of this technological development in the developed world. You'd be surprised. You see Ghanaians, you'll be surprised. You see Nigerians and all of that. You are wondering that how did he get here? So we just need Africans. We just need the enabling environment. We have the brain. We have the motivation to do what we have to do. I believe we just need the right economic policies. We need the right platforms to get what we have inside of us out there, to promote what we are as Africans, and to get to where we want to be.
So on this note, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at exactly to what they are yet to do and how they are managing to engage institutions in their conversation, open up space for higher education institutions to accept more youth. We'll be right back. You're welcome back on AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa, and we're talking about institutions giving more room for the youth to engage in higher education, and more particularly giving women and girls the opportunity, the chance to expand and explore in STEM education, and how that opportunities there are for the African continent. And let me come to you, Dr. Ganiyat, on your strategy that you are mounting out to engage with institutions. How has it been so far? How many institutions have you visited so far? And how has the conversation been like with them, talking them into allow the youth advance in higher education program, particularly STEM education for the youth and for women and girls?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to state that there is no growth and development without digitalization. Digital tools cut across every aspect of, life.
Yeah.
Be it education, business, even the sciences. We all have digital tools that enhances, our productivity.
Yeah.
So it's the way we use all these things that really matters. That's why we brought somebody from sociology to talk about us how to engage with all these, social platforms, positively.
Yeah.
So we are now talking about, engagement. That's what we call science engagement. You catch them young. If you don't catch them and reorientate them, where do you think they will be in the future? We are not saying the arts or the social sciences are not good. But let me tell you something. If I have a passion for music, I can sing, make money from singing. And at the same time, if I have the talent, to solve problem, maybe in engineering, I can do the two together without each one of them, hampering one another. So that's what we are saying, that as a youth, you still have that energy. If you have talent to solve a problem, use that talent in solving that problem. I know that there are some kids, they pick, maybe waste materials like, old telephones, and reconstruct them to something useful. They don't even know what they will be in future.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they may say, okay, I want to be a lawyer. I know that there are even some people in the arts that have, industries. They have pharmaceutical companies. They have passion, for something that has to do with science. But yet, they still have something else doing. So, our advocacy, we've been doing this in Nigeria. We've moved to so many schools, talking to students, talking to teachers, even engaging the parents, because all these things start from home.
Yeah.
If a child do not have the right orientation, even right from home, because as a mother, I spend more time with my kids than even the teacher in the school or the lecturer in the university. So if you start from home, you reorientate them on what do you really want to become in future. How do you want to be impactful? What contribution do you intend, to give into the system and be relevant, in your home? If you are not relevant in our home, American Chemical Society will not support us on this global mission.
Yeah.
And it's this global mission that brought us to Ghana. So in the home, we teach them, we let them realize the benefits of science.
Yeah.
What can you do with science? Even the ordinary soap that you use at home it's a product of science.
Yes.
The perfume, the cream, the hand sanitizer during the era of COVID-19 is from science. Not to talk of many technological advancements that is around us. So these are some of the things we make them to realize. That we even practicalize some of these things to them. We quickly, mix the soap. See, this is the soap that you are using now. You can see how it is being prepared. You can have a small factory by the time you leave secondary school or leave university and be producing it. You'll be using it at the same time. You'll be making money out of it.
Yeah.
And now we are in Ghana. We've moved, to some institutions, talking to HODs. We are even here in Association of African University. Is it not the body that is saddled with the responsibility of higher education?
Absolutely.
So these are some of the advocacy that we are talking about. We had a conference. On the conference, we talked about things that has to do with youth, technological advancement, science in general. So we are lucky that we have this type of platform.
Let me just wrap in with Mukhtar's remark on. Mukhtar, what would you want to achieve in this advocacy, the 10, 20, 30 years to come? If you were mentioned anywhere across the world or in Africa for an achievement, what would it be with regards to STEM education and how the youth will be involved?
Well, thank you. I would love to see that. Okay, fine. We have the more engagement from women, from the younglings, from youth, to be more engaged in in science, technology, engineering, and medicine. We need more of them. We need more people to be okay. Fine. These particular courses are very, very essential to our development. Without these things, we can't move forward. It's essential for the development of Africa. We can't keep, we can't keep bringing our doctors, we can't bring engineers from abroad, whereas we can, if you have an enabling environment for learning, if you have the equipment, it's going to encourage our youth to, go further rather than having to call or bring in, foreigners to come and help us out with our, if it's indigenous, it's beneficial. Okay, we are able to relate to each other very well. We are able to, tackle or bring in our culture in, and okay, fine, this is going to be more effective. So I want to be remembered that okay, fine, in 10 years from now, we have more and more youth. We have more women in technology, in science, creating, innovating, helping out in the development of Africa and the world at large.
Goodness, if you were invited to share your vision on how you can encircle Africa with STEM education and the youth and involvement, and also advice in the participation of women, how practical or how creative would you be on how to send down this idea of STEM education in the youth to the African continent? How practical will you do it?
Okay, well, just like my faculty advisor, the ACS UI chapter said, Dr. Ganiyat K, we have actually been going out before coming to Ghana. We've been to several schools in Nigeria, especially in our immediate environment. We've been to several secondary schools, and we've hosted seminars both for secondary schools and universities. So, and what we do is, number one, we train these students. We give them talks, motivational talks, academic talks on career paths that should be chosen. And we encourage them, we make them know why they should be in STEM. And if you are in STEM, what can you do? How can this STEM influence your contribution to the society? Of course, everyone is looking towards, I believe everyone is looking towards, oh, we want Africa to be like this. We want Nigeria to be in this way. We've seen pictures of how Germany is. We've seen pictures of what youths are capable of in China and all of that. And every youth, I believe, would want the same thing to be replicated in their countries in Africa. So we have been, out there encouraging these youths on why they should be in STEM and how being in STEM can actually help them make great significant contribution to the development they want to see. So beyond that, we also train them just some of these household items that they see. When people see practicals more, they get more excited and they are interested. When you see the process of soap making being brought to your doorstep, and you see the mixing, and the soap you buy in the market and you bring home, and then you don't know how it's made, but someone brings it to your doorstep, you see how it's done, and you see it's just the perfect fit of what you buy from the market. You are excited, and from there, some people are inspired and they want to learn more about that. So these are some of the things we have been doing, and we have been trying to encourage youth participation in higher education and also in STEM.
So, Dr. Ganiyat, if you were to wrap up on the quest that you are on to advocate for the participation of youth in higher education. What should be the end results? What is the goal that you want to achieve towards the Africa that we want?
Thank you very much. First of all, I don't want African brain drain again. Let's be in our continent and develop our continent. If the Europeans and the Americans have not sat down in their countries to develop their countries, we will be running to them. Do we have to be running to them every time? When will that stop? So this kind of a platform is to gear us up, is to sensitize us on the need for Africans. You know, our destiny is in our hands. Let's open our eyes. Let's think inward. This is where we are all born. I was not born in America. I was not born in UK. I was born in Africa. So I want to see a new Africa. A new Africa where problems are solved. Not that I will now go into another continent and be solving the problems for them. I have the talent. I have the brain. In fact, I even have the education because the schools are there. But let the youth fill up the schools. Let the youth, you know, bring out the talent in them and solve these problems. So that is what I want to be seeing in the nearest future.
Great. Great. So thank you very much for your submission of the Ganiyat goodness, and also Mukhzar for your time on AAU Talks, and also your contribution, your quest. I really ask for more strength for you, Godspeed, and more strength to your elbow to ensure that you drive this message down to all the areas in government, higher education, and all university management leaders to understand that they also have to bear with you on the course of opening the room for youth to also advance in higher education. And as Dr. Ganiyat said in a submission, that there needs to be a time in Africa where problems are solved not by anyone but Africans themselves. And so this also stems from the African Agenda 2063, one of the aspirations saying that we as Africans to a point in time solve our own problems. We have the right skills right here and nowhere else. So thank you very much for your time on AAU Talks as we discuss with the team from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, on their quest global outreach to ensure that youth in Africa are given the room to advance in higher education and particularly explore more in STEM education. So until we come your way with another interview on AAU Talks, as usual, we brought you content that inform and transform, and this one does exactly that. So catch you next time on AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Ajiman Ochadako. Have a nice day and bye.